All right, we are ready to look at some vocabulary words that surround our study of the Holocaust. I'm going to caution you that as we go through this, I would like to make sure that you are stopping the video and writing down the definitions in your organizer. And also one more thing, that if in the definitions you come to words that you don't know, so the definitions themselves have words that you don't know, please make sure that you either listen again to that slide, because a lot of times I've explained it, or highlight or circle a word in a definition that doesn't make sense, and then you can ask either a friend or you can clarify with me later on if you don't know what it means. Okay? So here we go with our Holocaust vocabulary. Alright, the first thing we need to make note of is the fact that sometimes we see the word Holocaust with a lowercase h and sometimes we see it with an uppercase h. It's, pronounced the same thing, but the meanings are a bit different. So a lot of times we hear Holocaust meaning just a great or complete devastation or destruction, especially by fire. You've heard of maybe a nuclear Holocaust. Okay, so we hear it sometimes. That's not with the capital H. The one with the capital H is the systematic mass slaughter, that's killing, of European Jews in Nazi concentration camps during World War II. This is the Holocaust that we are studying about in this unit in 8th grade. So please make sure that when you're doing writing or when you're reading that you're understanding that the capital H Holocaust is the one that happened to the Nazis by the Jews in World War II. The next word, anti-Semitism. You should know that anti means against. Okay, so with that in mind, thinking about anti-Semitism meaning hostility toward or prejudice against Jews. Remember, hostility means kind of acting aggressive. So acting aggressive toward Jews or being prejudiced against Jews. That would be anti-Semitism. A concentration camp. Okay, this is a camp where enemies or prisoners of war are detained and confined, typically under harsh conditions. Detained, kind of like a detention. Detained means that you are kept. Okay, confined means that you are kept in a specific space. Okay, so a camp where enemies or prisoners of war are detained and confined, typically under harsh conditions. Harsh conditions are conditions I would not want to live in. Okay, a lot of times it meant no food or water, or very little food or water, bad working conditions, and things of that nature. A death camp. Does not sound very nice, and looking at the picture does not look very nice either. A death camp is a concentration camp, so a specific kind of concentration camp, in which a large portion of the inmates are systematically put to death, are worked to death, or die from mistreatment. I'm going to clarify the word systematically for you here. Systematically right here. Systematically means there is a specific system to it. It means it's not happening by accident. These people did not all die accidentally. It means somebody had planned a way for these people to die, either starving them, working them to death, or working them to death while they were getting very, very little food or nutrition. And then also being mistreated. Okay? So they would go there to work until they die. Genocide. Genocide. Here's that word systematic again. Okay? If you're looking at the picture, there's bones and skulls. We'll talk about the picture again in just a minute. Genocide is the systematic and widespread extermination of an entire national, racial, religious, or ethnic group. Again, systematic means there's a system to it, didn't happen by accident. And widespread. Widespread means it didn't just happen in one place. It means it happened in numerous different places. It was very widespread. Okay, so knowing that, it means, okay, they did it on purpose. They did it in a lot of different places. And then extermination. Talking about extermination, That means that you are killing something. I call an exterminator if I would have bugs or mice in my house or something like that. So to exterminate something means to kill something. So genocide means to, on purpose, in a lot of different places, kill an entire national, racial, religious, or ethnic group. Okay, and looking at that picture right there, you see kind of where some other genocides have taken place. So not only did it happen during our capital H Holocaust, it happened in Cambodia in 1973, Rwanda in 1994, Bosnia in 1995, Darfur in 2005. Okay, and then there's a quote down there, all that's needed for the triumph of evil is for men to create government. Gestapo. Gestapo. I'll read you the definition and then I will tell you how I remember it. Nazi German police, known for terrorist methods directed against those suspected of treason or questionable loyalty. Alright, so the key word to remember is that they are police. And of course now if you think back to Gestapo, the end of the word Gestapo is po, like police. Sometimes people call them the popo. Okay, so that might help you remember it. Nazi German police known for terrorist methods. Okay, terrorist methods are not the kind methods, not the humane methods that we see, but but kind of terrorizing, creating terror for people. Directed against people who were suspected of treason. Treason is going against your country, or of other questionable loyalty. Okay, so they would go after people who they thought did not stand strong with Hitler or Hitler's philosophy. Nazi. Nazi. Now, a lot of you before have expressed how you did not expect that Nazi would be spelled like this. This is indeed how you spell Nazi, even though you sometimes hear a T sound in it. There is no T. Okay, a Nazi is a person. A Nazi is a member of the National Socialist German Workers' Party. That was the official name of the party. It was founded in Germany in the year 1919, and it was brought to power in 1933 under Adolf Hitler. Okay, so if you look at that very carefully, Hitler did not invent or whatever. Hitler did not bring about the Nazis. The Nazis had already been in existence way back to 1919, and then they were brought into power under Adolf Hitler. And then the graphic that you see here, the picture that is called a swastika. Swastika, and that came to symbolize the Nazi party. You'll see that a lot when you see the police and you see the Nazis. Alright, the next word is persecution. This is not a word that is unique to the Holocaust. And it happens, sometimes in other places around the world, and some might argue that it happens here in the United States. But persecution is the systematic mistreatment of an individual or a group by another group. So in other words, systematic, there it is, systematic again, not an accident. Means there was a purpose, there was a specific way that they did something, a system for them doing something. So a system for treating badly, mistreatment, treating badly, an individual or a group by other groups or individuals. Okay? So if I'm treating people badly, or somebody's treating someone badly, or another group badly, you could say that that group is being persecuted. Next word, hey, I see a guy, looks to be like Adolf Hitler. That traditional mustache, you'll see that he's got that mustache, rather unique. And he's holding that Nazi flag with the symbol on it of the swastika. And you see a lot of those in the background in the picture on the left. So propaganda, this is a word that we use today. Propaganda is information, ideas, or rumors that are deliberately spread widely to help or harm a person, group, movement, institution, nation, etc. Okay? So they're ideas or rumors that are spread widely where they help people or harm people or groups or movements. Okay? So if you think about ways, kind of means of propaganda today, we could use our media, we could use newspaper, we could use internet in order to spread information widely. Okay, so if you think about some of the bad things that you see on the internet or some of the good things that you see, you know, advertising a lot of people consider as propaganda. Okay, those are all examples of how we help or harm people, groups, movements, ideas, things like that. So the Nazis relied on propaganda. This is the SS, otherwise known as the Schutzstaffel. My German is not good, but as someone who pronounced it right, you might hear a more German accent. The Schutzstaffel. The Schutzstaffel were the elite. They were the top military unit of the Nazi Party. They served as Hitler's bodyguards and kind of as a special police force. These were kind of like, these were the ones that were really, really true to the Nazi Party. They were the ones who just really believed in the philosophy and every ounce of it. They just really believed in it. So these are the really bad guys. Last one, a Star of David. A lot of the books that you're going to read have to deal with people who wore that star on their clothing. They were forced to wear it. There was no choice. And a Star of David became is a symbol of Judaism, or being Jewish, and it consists of two interlocking equilateral triangles. Look at that. We got some math in here today. So two interlocking equilateral triangles making up the Star of David. And then finally, we could talk about other groups that have been persecuted, but we will save that for another day and time. Please go back and listen to this again if you need any more clarification on any of your words or terms.